Hey Lacey, what's your idea of a perfect weekend?
Wake up. I want to go out to the couch. I want to watch an entire season of Survivor in one day. That's what I want to do. Great snacks at each location. I don't even need a meal. You don't need to feed me. Just snack me at each location. Perfect weekend. Hi, I'm Lacey J. I'm an entrepreneur who started a social media agency at age 22. Weird, I know. I've been niching it down and building it up over the last 11 years, and a long 11 years they have been. Being on social media so much is hard on my and my team's mental health, so we work to find routines, balance, and focus on ethics that keep us showing up authentically online. If you manage social media accounts and you feel confused, unfocused, or straight up wackadoo, welcome to the club. We meet here once a week. Welcome back, everybody. I am so happy to have you here. It is the second week of March. I hope your April content plan is coming along well if you listened to last week's episode and that you're starting to get your themes and your posts all scheduled out for next month. This week, we're going to talk about some things that are not working well on social media right now. I went into our Facebook group Spry Space and just polled the people within there asking about what is not working on social media right now. So a few of the things that I have in there are from that conversation. And there's one piece that I'm pulling out that's very important for you to focus on, and this is it. The one thing that you need to focus on for sure this month that is not working is the idea of a set it and forget it ad audience, okay? March 17th, which is just a few days from now, Facebook is no longer going to let you run ads toward audiences with certain detailed targeting options. Okay, I'm going to read to you the quote that's from Facebook. We're removing detailed targeting options people may perceive as sensitive, such as targeting options referencing causes, organizations, or public figures that relate to health, race or ethnicity, political affiliation, religion, or sexual orientation. So what the heck? I personally, I'm very frustrated about this. We work with many clients who serve BIPOC communities. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing with this is that it's going to very negatively impact underserved populations, okay? It's going to very negatively impact oppressed people. Why? It limits our ability to communicate directly with the people who we are aligned with, who are experiencing similar things. I'll give you an example. I discovered this while I was working with Rosalinda Mendoza and Emma from Spry on Latino Leadership Northwest. We have been putting out for the last few years content directed towards the Latino population in Southwest Washington. And Spanish language content around certain things, around COVID preparedness, around mental health, around sexual education for youth. And we've had to target towards this specific audience because that's who we're serving. We're getting grant money from the Department of Health to serve this specific population. So we just found out and got these big notices within our ad account that says we're no longer able to target. The actual targeting option that we were using was Hispanic culture, people who are interested in Hispanic culture. So that is no longer an option. We are no longer allowed to target towards people who have an interest in Hispanic culture. We tried the option of just Spanish language, and that ended up doubling the community size of the ad audience that we were going to be targeting towards. So we're trying to figure out, I'm working with some internal people at Facebook right now to try to figure out what a better targeting option is to hit that specific audience. But the biggest takeaway I want you to have from this is you need to get in and look at your ad audiences on Facebook and Instagram and see if any of these are against guidelines. You will know because there will be little notices that say this ad audience includes detailed targeting options that are being discontinued. And it will stop running ads towards those audiences if you have any of those interests that are in the discontinued list. I would love to know how many people this is affecting within our world here. How many of you that are listening are being affected by this? We have multiple clients. Another client is a indigenous community who has been targeting people who were interested in no dapple. So it's very frustrating on many standpoints, and I just want you to be aware of it and make sure that you're getting into your ad accounts and you're looking at your audiences and seeing if any of your audiences are being affected. And maybe we can all rise up together and start a revolution against Facebook for these kind of issues, because it's very frustrating. Okay, big breath. We'll move into something a little bit lighter. Even though I wish we could just stay on the important topics as long as possible and change them, but we don't have the ability to change them right now. So we just adapt. One thing that I got in a what's not working question in our Facebook group, Spryspace, was story views and link stickers. Okay, so if you remember a few months back, the swipe up feature was gone and these link stickers came in. So anybody who is running a social media account on Instagram now can add these link stickers. And it is not working as well as the swipe up feature was working. At least that's what I'm hearing from some of our accounts that used to have the swipe up feature. So I think the biggest thing for us to be thinking about with this is tracking data on this. So if you are using link stickers in your Instagram stories, where you're trying to drive people to a website through your Instagram stories, just start collecting data, okay? How many are you getting? If you tweak the text on the link button, does that change things? If you change the visual behind it, how does that change things? If you do a few stories before and a few stories after, how does that change people's engagement? So start running experiments on using those link stickers and what kind of things you can do to amplify their effectiveness, and hopefully it can improve. The next thing that I saw people talking about was I'll do a quote here. It said, "I'm feeling really lost about the best ways to share our content in ways that feel connective and not self-promotional." That's a great question. I mean, most people are creating social media accounts really for promotional purposes, right? We all want to gain a community of people who care about the same things that we care about, and amplify the work that we're doing. The person that asked this question specifically does do a lot of service-based work. So if we can keep our mind focused on the fact that our social media accounts are made to build communities and are made to have this sense of collaboration, then keeping that at the center of the why is going to help us have content that does feel a bit more connective than self-promotional. However, I do have just a few tips that I can think of on how to get this done. Number one is creating content that's informative, okay? Obviously, you are not on social media as an individual to like get sold to. That's horrible. It's like walking through the mall when those people with the carts in the middle of the mall are like, "Let me straighten your hair," or here's this. It's horrible. No, you didn't come to the mall to get your hair straightened. You came to look around, have a good time. On social media, same thing is true. We do not want to feel self-promotional. Buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. People will tune you out, and rightfully so. That's not what social media is for. It is for connection, it is for entertainment, and it is for learning. People follow many accounts because they learn from them every day. So thinking about doing your content in a more informative way than promotional is a great way to do it. Can you add a stat? Can you give a tip? Can you... anything that makes it informative, that people are starting to learn from in a very bite-sized way. The second way that you can create content that's less self-promotional and more connective is to do some collaborative work, okay? So this takes a little bit more back-end time where you've got to actually talk to other organizations and other brands and work together to create pieces of content. On Instagram, you can use it as a collaborator and have it post to both accounts, which creates a definite sense of connectivity. But you can also just end up tagging those people, tagging them when you share stories, tag it on any of the platforms that is there. But you have to kind of do a little pre-work before you post a piece of content like that if you really want it to yield that connectiveness that you're looking for. The last thing that will help with this, I think, is questions. Creating content that has one line that is asking a question, because that shows your community that you want to hear from them. It shows them that you're interested in their opinion, and it shows them that they're valuable. If you take their opinion and then use it in context in your actual post content, then it's going to yield a much higher engagement rate because people feel invested in the content. So asking questions and then using the answers in future content can create that connectivity that we're looking for. The last thing that's not working well is the two-emoji reply, okay? Just knock it off. You're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through Facebook, you're on LinkedIn, wherever you are, and you think a piece of content is cool and you just hit your two most recent emojis. Come on. You can try harder than that. It's embarrassing. And it's not really that fun when you're a social media manager and you're doing presence management and you see a heart and a kiss emoji. It's like, okay, well, was that just their two most recent emojis, or did they actually like us? Do they want to kiss me? I mean, like, we need to be more intentional about the engagement that we put out as brands and as individuals. Stop with the two emoji comments. Create something valuable in a comment that even just says, thank you, this piece of content was really helpful. That means so much more to the creator of that content than your two emoji reply. Just knock it off. Hey, if you're looking for ways to build your foundational social media strategy skills, we've got a course for that. I worked with Adrian Harvey, who's the lead digital strategist at Spry, has a master's in digital media, and has worked in digital marketing for over 10 years to create this course. The course is called Social Media on Purpose, and it takes all of the lessons we've learned over our combined 24 years in the industry and distills them down into bite-sized lessons for you to enjoy. If you're interested, check it out at thinkspry.com/courses. Also, we're kind of cute and funny if that's important. Okay, so before I send you off on your week, I want to check in on how you're doing, okay? The thing that has proved to be maybe the most long-lasting truth that I know of in my career and my life is that everything comes in waves, all right? Earth is like 71% water and humans are like 60% water. So it doesn't surprise me that everything in life comes in waves. It actually makes very good sense. From a personal standpoint, the last 4 weeks or so, I have felt so good. I felt on top of my game. I felt totally stable. I felt confident. I felt grounded. But then this last week, something shifted and I'm starting to feel very emotional and I'm feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. And sometimes when I'm in this lower place, it feels like I'm going to stay here forever. Maybe the truth is there on the other side too, that when I'm high on life, I'm feeling like I'm going to stay there forever. And the attachment to both feelings is what causes this suffering in me when things end up changing. So I have to remind myself right now, because I'm feeling kind of at that low and overwhelmed spot, that everything comes in waves. This is not going to last forever, and that's okay. And I think that's a really good parallel to what we experience as social media managers too. We might have a few months where our content is doing so good and our community is growing so well. But then we hit this spot where now we have so much more visibility and we're getting trolls on our content. We're getting negative interactions on our content and we're in this low space for a while and it feels like we're going to be there forever. And what was the point of building this community if it's just going to draw this negativity? But the truth is it's going to keep coming in waves, okay? You're going to have these low spots and then you're going to have high spots again. And it's just going to keep coming in waves and there's nothing else to say about it. It's just what it is. And so if we can stay unattached to both places and just understand that it's going to come this way and it's going to go that way, then hopefully we'll feel just a little more stable and a little more grounded, whether we're in that high spot or the low spot. So I wish you good luck on your week, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Bye.
Social Media with Lacey J is brought to you by Spry Social Media Marketing. Edited and produced by Chad Hinman and executive produced by Lacey J. Font.